Hey everybody, it's Realtor Cree, and I wanted to come on and do a short video and just kind of do a video on what's been happening in my world in real estate lately. And I have been working with all these fabulous buyers who just happen to be first-time home buyers. And I'm excited to work with them because that is my niche. I love working with first-time home buyers. And so one thing that they all had in common and that they all asked was, what does that process look like, Cree? You know, what are we supposed to do? What do we do? They had all these questions. And so I said, you know what? Let me do a video. Let me do a video on the process of buying a house so that everybody knows exactly what's going to happen. And so the first thing you want to do, get pre-approved. You want to get pre-approved because you want to know exactly how much house you can afford. This is important because sometimes people tend to fall in love with houses that they've seen on Trulia, Yahoo, Redfin, Realtor.com, Open Door, all these people are out there, and people see houses that they like, but they don't know exactly how much they can afford because they haven't gotten that pre-approval letter. So once I get that pre-approval letter, I know the price range that we're supposed to be looking for houses in. After you get that pre-approval letter, call me. Call me, and what we're going to do is set up some time to go and visit those houses in your price range, and we're going to make sure that we only visit the houses in your price range. Because here's the thing. It's easy to fall in love with houses. I do it all the time, and I'm a homeowner. I see these big old beautiful houses, and I start thinking I can just sell my house. I can get in this house. I need this much down. I can close in this many days. And so we want to make sure that on the journey to home ownership that we're only working with realistic goals, and that we're only buying houses that can truly, be bought. That means that you only want to purchase a house that you can truly afford. Some of us become house poor, and we become house poor because we fall in love with these houses, and we say we're going to make all these sacrifices just to make that note when we're really not prepared to make that sacrifice. So what ends up happening is you become house poor. Not only do you become house poor, you become a slave to your home, because now all the money that's coming into your house is going toward the payment. And guess what that makes you want to do? Makes you not want to be there. It makes you not want to be there. It makes it difficult for you to do other things in your life because everything is going toward the purchase of a home. And so that's not what we want to do. The next thing we want to do is write a contract. You want to write a contract. But as you write this contract, we want this contract to be interesting. We want it to be, competitive. And what I mean by that is, in today's market, whether you know it or not, it's hard sometimes getting a contract through because it's multiple offers on all these great properties. And so your offer has to be attractive. And what I mean by that is you can't ask for an astronomical amount of money for seller concessions and then turn around and put a small amount of money down. They're not going to choose your contract. They're not going to choose your contract. So if you've been in the market to buy a house for a long time, you should have some money saved toward that so that you can afford to pay some of the closing costs toward the purchase of your home. Now, some people have programs that they're involved in that will pay that down payment, but you still got closing costs. Like, nothing's free. Jesus paid it all, but he's not paying closing costs today, honey. That's going to be on you. So what we want to do is make sure that we're not asking for an astronomical amount of money when it comes to seller concessions. Okay, so for example, we're going to ask them for maybe, 1% instead of 3%. We're going to ask them for a $500 residential service contract, and then you're going to bring some money down. So if it's at FHA, maybe 3.5%. So these are all pertinent questions that have to be answered, and we need to know these things right away, which is why that pre-approval is important, which is why you need to call me, and which is why when we sit down and do that contract, we're all on the same page. After we do the contract, guess what's next? We're going to, get a home inspection. The reason why we're going to get a home inspection is because we want to make sure this is a sound home. This is some of the biggest investments that people sometimes make. And so we want to make sure that you are buying a sound house. We want to make sure the roof is in good condition, that the foundation is in good condition. Because believe it or not, there's some people out there who are shysty, and they will try and sell you a product that's not up to par. So that's why we call in an inspector, and the inspector is going to inspect that home. Usually the inspection takes about 3 to 4 hours, and I do have a preference of who I use for my home inspections. And when he comes out to do that home inspection, I know that he's going to go over that house with a fine-tooth comb. So when he's done, you're going to get a report, and the report might be about 50 pages long. And so at the very end, there's going to be a summary. And at the end of that summary is going to be all kinds of recommendations that he's going to give. And so as he gives those recommendations, you're going to sit down with me and we're going to decide which ones that we want to ask the seller to fix. So if it's window sills that need to be fixed, then that's a big deal to you, we're going to ask. If the hot water heater is not working properly, we're going to ask them to fix that. So the home inspection is a very, very critical piece to this whole puzzle because we want to make sure that you're buying a sound home. After we get that inspection back and everything checks out good, we're ready to proceed to closing. So you've already put your earnest money down. You put your option money down. When you put that option money down, that holds the house for about 7 days so that you can get that inspection done, get the summary done, and let the seller know the repairs that you're requesting. And so people always ask, well, where does that earnest money go? Well, the earnest money goes toward the purchase price of the house. The option money goes to the seller. It goes to the seller. So when we do the contract and you give me the earnest money, cashier's check and your cashier's check for the option fee, I will deliver the earnest money to the title company and then I'll deliver the option fee to the seller. Everybody's taken care of. Next thing is to close. Ta-da! We're going to close and get your keys, baby. That's the whole goal. Get the keys. I got the keys. Okay, I'm being silly. But I'm just saying, isn't that the goal? You want the keys. Tengo las llaves a su casa nueva. I have the keys to your new home. All you got to do is call. Call me. And I would love to work with you and help you find the house that fits you and your family's needs. It is not a difficult process at all. It just sounds like a lot of steps. But when you have an amazing realtor who's ready and willing and able to work with buyers and sellers in all price points, you can't go wrong. So if you're in the market to sell, give me a call today. I'm Cree Perryman with Spencer Real Estate Company, and I look forward to working with you in your next transaction. 940-218-5682, 940-218-5682. Thanks, and I'll catch you in the next video.